Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and today I'm going to show you exactly how do you pay off your mortgage, not in 30 years, not in 15 years, but in around 8 years. So a lot sooner than everyone else. Now, one thing I've learned about real estate is basically that right now, overall, the market is very hyped, okay? We understand that it's kind of crazy. I would probably wait 1-2 years before I go ahead and buy a property. But the one thing we all know for sure is that real estate is very expensive no matter what. So it's not one of those things you kind of want to say, hey, I'm going to learn while I buy a property. No, you kind of want to learn everything right now. So before you buy a property, you have a plan of action and know exactly what you're going to do. So that way you don't end up owing a bunch of money. The big thing is basically that real estate, because it's so expensive, a 1% mistake or 5% mistake might cost you a few $1,000s, okay? So it is very expensive. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how to figure out exactly, hey, how much house can I afford? What is the 33% rule? And on top of that, also, how do I pay off my mortgage a lot faster than everyone else? Yes, I said that twice. Now, on top of that, if you guys are new here, I post videos every single day. So you should also subscribe and hit the bell to get notified. And on top of that, also destroy the like button. Now, the very first thing is, guys, you have to understand the way we're going to buy real estate is going to be income based. It's not going to be based on what you're going to make in the future, 10 years from now, or based on, hey, I have this hypothetical job coming along. No, it's going to be based on your real current income. And one rule I follow is, hey, I'm not interested in the budget the bank is giving me or in the budget my friends are telling me to go on base, because basically they want to have the best for me, or the bank says, hey, we want to offer you this because you have excellent credit. The answer is no. The bank makes more money by me going ahead and buying a bigger house, meaning more money and interest for them. My friends and my family want the best for me, but they're not going to pay my mortgage if things go wrong. So it has to be based on income, but more importantly, based on what is best for you. And by the way, after we're done with this video, you watch the whole thing, watch it a few more times, share with your friends. But the main thing is basically you might find out the property you want to buy, you just can't afford it right now. And that's fine. You know why? Because stats show that basically on average, people only stay in a property for around 5 years. Then they go ahead and move somewhere else. So if for the first 5 years, you save money, you get things ready, you have your own property though, and then you want to upgrade a house, that's fine, no problem. But it makes no sense to buy something now you can't afford, hoping things go right for you, when last year we had a whole pandemic. You never know what's gonna happen, and that's why you don't wanna risk it. So Tommy, okay, I understand that, but how exactly am I supposed to buy a property? What are the rules here? Well, before you buy a property, there are a few things you need to have in check, okay? For example, the only way to buy a property the right way is to make sure you have control over your money. So if I ask you, for example, hey, how much money do you spend a month? And you tell me, hey, I don't know. Okay, I just don't know. The answer is you're probably not ready just yet. You need to have a concrete budget to know exactly where your money is actually going. Now, a budget only has 4 main expenses, okay? That's going to be shelter, utilities, groceries, and transportation. So make a budget with those 4 expenses, write down how much you spend, minus it from your income, and whatever money you have left is money we're going to use later for saving up for a down payment. However, if you have no money left over, at least a minimum of 10, 20, 30%, the answer is it means you're spending too much money. So don't consider it, actually do it. Cut out the things you don't need. If you have cable, cut it out. If you have Netflix, cut it out. If you have this, cut it out. Whatever you don't need, just go ahead and cut it out, because in the future, you'll have a lot more money to do whatever you want to do, okay? But you need to make sacrifices today in order for tomorrow to live like nobody else, okay? That's the main goal here. Now, once we do that, once we have a full-blown budget, okay, you want to make sure before you buy a property, first of all, you have no crazy debt. Why? Because if you have any debt outside of the mortgage, it's not a good thing. If you have student loan payments, car payments, credit card payments, personal loan payments, pay all those things out first. Why? Because if you buy a property and then you lose your job or something crazy happens, you have all those things coming after you. So the point is, before you buy a home, or if you have a home right now, before you consider paying extra towards it, focus on paying all that debt first, okay? Pay it off using the avalanche method, meaning you pay the debt with the highest interest rate. That way you save money. That's the core idea. On top of that, if you have no debt, consider also, don't consider it, do it, okay? Have at least a minimum of 3 months in your emergency fund. Because this way, again, if you lose your job, things happen. You never know what's going to happen. You have 3 months to figure things out and get a new job. And lastly, consider this also. You have to be able to invest while you're paying for your mortgage and also paying extra towards it, because your retirement accounts are a tax advantage account. So it lets your money grow tax free, which is going to help you out a ton. The goal is not to finish the house and have no money in retirement. The goal is to finish the house and also have a bunch of money in retirement. So you have to set aside, at least once you're debt free, have a pool emergency account, set aside at least 10-20% for your investments, okay? Retirement accounts, meaning Roth IRA, get the match your employer and everything else, okay? That's the core idea. Now, if you do that and you're ready, well, here is the 3-step plan to go ahead and buy a property the right way. And if you already have one, just use the same plan, does not matter, and basically pay off your mortgage in 8 to 10 years minimum, okay? This is the idea. Now, the first thing is going to be, we're going to work backwards here. So you want to find out exactly what the overall expenses are going to be for a property, even though we don't know our budget just yet. So how do we do this? Well, we know for a fact we want to put down between 10% to 20% as a down payment for a property. Why? If you put down 20%, you avoid PMI insurance, private mortgage insurance. This insurance covers the bank in case you actually go bankrupt or you default on the whole thing, okay? So it doesn't help you, it helps the bank. If you put down 20%, you get to avoid this. This might cost you or save you an extra few $1,000s every single year. If you put down, for example, 10% as a down payment, you'll pay PMI. But if you work towards paying extra every single month and building up equity, once you build up at least 20% of equity, they will waive the PMI insurance also. On top of that, you need to set that money aside, okay, for your down payment. 10-20%. I recommend 20%. If it's not possible for you right now, just do 10%. That's fine. But also, you're going to have closing costs. Depending on where you live and the current market, you might be able to get the seller to cover all your closing costs. So always ask for those things, okay? Ask your realtor, say, hey, make sure, or ask if the seller is willing to go ahead and cover a percentage or all of my closing costs, okay? Closing fees, okay? That can also save you at least 2 to 3 to 5% of the whole property value. Usually, that's what closing fees actually cost, okay? So potentially have the money set aside also, so that way you're good to go when the time comes. On top of that, also, you're going to need to run 1 to 3% set aside in a sinking fund for property maintenance. I have never in my entire life seen someone have a property and nothing ever go wrong with it. Things happen all the time. So set money aside in case things go wrong. It's called a sinking fund, okay? So separate from your emergency fund. The difference is emergencies, things you don't expect to happen. Sinking fund are things are basically going to happen at some point. Your car might break down, your roof might start leaking. All those things can be expected because basically it is a property and things do happen and things do go wrong, okay? Now, those are the main expenses. That's number 1, the most important thing here. Now I know down payments, closing costs, and lastly, maintenance expense. Okay, Tommy, all right, but how do I know how much house I can actually afford? Well, the answer is, guys, it's very simple, okay? The rule is the 33% rule. What does this mean? It means, for example, the property we buy cannot exceed 33% of our monthly income. Meaning, for example, okay, if we make $4,000 a month, multiplied by 0.33 is going to be our budget. Now that means $1,320 is how much we're actually allowed to spend on this house. Now, I want to make something very clear. This is not just, for example, the mortgage, meaning capital and interest. It also includes the mortgage, the insurance, the taxes, the maintenance. On top of that, also, you have PMI potentially, and potentially also HOA fee, okay? So all those things included cannot exceed $1,320 a month. That is your budget. Now, how do I find that exactly? By the way, on a 15-year mortgage, not a 30-year, the goal is not to have a home for that long. The goal is to pay it off faster. So having a 15-year mortgage is going to help you out a ton. Trust me, I'll show you now. But the answer is, once you find this out, how do you find out exactly the house you can actually buy, okay? And what the budget actually is. Well, the answer is very simple. You want to head over to Google and you want to type in bank rate mortgage calculator. And it'll take you right here to this website right here. So what you want to do is basically you want to head over to Google, okay? And you want to type in bank rate mortgage calculator, okay? And the first link that pops up, you want to click this link right here, not the ad, this one right here. It'll show you this right here. Now we know for a fact our budget is going to be $1,320. That means 33% of our monthly income. Now, if you look over here, all the way at the bottom here, it shows you, hey, you have principal and interest, you have homeowners insurance, you have property taxes, and potentially also HOA fee. Now, what you want to do is you want to set it to a 15-year mortgage right here, right down here, 15-year mortgage. And then, for example, you want to head over here and scroll down the property price, which should change this right here, which is basically your estimated monthly payment. So go ahead and scroll down here, okay? So meaning our real budget is going to be somewhere around right here, okay? Yeah, around $201,000 equal $1,320, including, for example, homeowner insurance, property taxes, HOA fee. Again, the maintenance is going to be in a separate account. That way, we don't got to worry about it, okay? That's the cool thing. And PMI is waived because basically we put down 20%, which in this case is going to be like around $40,000, okay? So that's also awesome. We get to save money on all those things on a monthly basis. Now, the cool thing is this, and I want to show you guys this, okay, guys? If you guys say, well, Tommy, why not get this exact same property, but instead of doing it like this, I get it, for example, on a 30-year mortgage. Well, here's why. Because basically on this plan right here, 15-year plan, by the time you're done, you only pay an interest somewhere around $40,000. It says it all the way at the bottom there. However, if you put it, for example, on a 30-year mortgage, well, first of all, you'll be done by 2051, so 30 years from now, and you'll also pay them somewhere around $86,000. But Tommy, I could pay extra towards it. The answer is you could, but what are the odds you actually will? Okay, I like to put myself in a situation where basically I make the math fit in so that way I can do things the correct way without having to think about it over and over again. So basically, in this case, if I put it, for example, on a 15-year mortgage, well, okay, Tommy, I know my budget, my monthly payments, but how do I know how much money to throw over to the entire mortgage, pay it off faster? The answer is you want to throw an extra 10 to 20% of your entire extra income that you actually have coming in, okay? Meaning you pay this off a lot faster. Remember, you're also investing at the same time. Don't stop investing here. Now, if you have, again, the same example here, okay, guys, because I want to stay consistent here. If we have the same example and we make $4,000 every single month, okay, multiply by 20%, is going to be around $800, meaning that is how much extra money we can go ahead and put towards this mortgage. Now, the cool thing is we can go right here, click amortization schedule, and click extra payments. So every single month, we'll pay an extra $800, meaning we will finish in around 8 years. Here, right here is the payoff date. And look at this. We get to save somewhere around half the money that we would have paid them on interest. That's the cool thing. But again, even if we made these extra payments and we put it, for example, on a 30-year mortgage, we're still going to finish later because, again, we're not paying as much money and we're also going to pay them more interest, okay? The goal is, okay, guys, the goal is to own a property the fastest way. This way, okay, this entire like 15-year mortgage thing is going to do two things for you, okay? It's going to limit the amount of house you can actually buy. Because, by the way, just so you know, okay, if we have the same exact budget here, of $1,320, well, on a 30-year mortgage, our real budget is somewhere around, look at this, guys, okay? Somewhere around almost $311,000. That's almost $111,000 more than we could afford before. That's not the goal. We're not looking to buy an expensive house. We're looking to buy something we can actually afford for the long term. That's the idea. Now, if you follow this plan correctly, the goal is going to be, well, I bought a property I can afford. I'm going to pay extra towards it because it's on a 15-year mortgage, okay? And on top of that, lastly, I'm also investing at the same time. So just to put this in perspective, guys, okay? if you go right here, for example, to compound interest calculator by Compound Monkey, I think the website is right here. Look at it right here, okay? If you go to this calculator right here, and I start off, for example, with $0, and I invest, for example, every single year, okay? Again, 20% of my income, which is somewhere like around 800 bucks every single month, multiply by 12, that's around $9,600 I'm actually investing, okay? A lot of money. Now, if I invest $9,600 a year, okay, while I'm paying off my house early, what does this mean, okay? It means 8 years, once my property is done being paid off, okay, times 12 here, all right, I would have another 100. Even if you do half, for example, let's say you do, for example, just $5,000. By the time you're done with the property, guys, you have six actually invested. Meaning, yes, you're done with the property, you have an emergency fund, but you also have a lot of money invested. That is what I want for sure. You buy a property the correct way, but you also pay it off as fast as possible. So for everyone out there already has a property, the answer is pay off all your debt first, except the mortgage, and then build up an emergency account, okay? And then build up a sinking fund for the property in case anything breaks, and then start paying all the extra money towards the mortgage. And that way you will be done as fast as possible. But it all starts off with you having a budget. If we don't have a budget, you don't got anything because you don't have a plan. You don't know what's gonna happen, okay? That's the idea, okay, guys? Hopefully this video helped. If it did, comment down below, let me know. If you have any questions, okay, comment down below, let me know. But I recommend you watch this video and share it at least once or twice, okay? That way, you know how this works, your friends know how it works, okay? The bank has a whole different theory. People have different theories because they want to buy some other things. If you do it this way, you'll be done a lot faster, and you will also avoid a bunch of interest being paid to the bank also. And once the property is paid off, you have no risk of default on a mortgage because guess what? You don't got a mortgage, okay? So your only expense is going to be, for example, just your property taxes and insurance. And at that point, you have all this extra money to buy a fancy car, to go on vacation, and do whatever you want, okay? But I don't want to be the person where I don't do this plan, and now it's been 15, 20 years. I'm still paying it off. I'm paying for my car. I'm paying for my debts, all this stuff. And I'm still playing the game. I don't want to play the game at that age, okay? That's the idea. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified. And if you want to call me and talk to me one-on-one, join me on my third channel called Ask Me Bryson, where I take calls every single day from Monday to Friday and I talk to you one-on-one for free. Link down below. Subscribe over there. On top of that, also, if you want to DM me right here at TommyBryson or join me on Patreon. Link down below also. If you want to watch more content on how I invest and what I invest into, here's a video right here. And click my face right here. See you guys tomorrow. And as always, peace.